Imagine a city of 8 million souls, crammed into streets of stone and soot. Queen Victoria on the throne. The British Empire at its height, steam and iron reshaping the world. Crystal Palace gleaming with progress, railways roaring across the land. Yet under the triumph lurked a terror no one dared speak of, a hidden network of filth that threatened to drown the capital in its own waste. London, the 19th century, a city of empire, a city of wealth, gaslight flickering in the fog, carriages rolling over stone, silk and gold on display. But beneath this London, there was another one, a city never shown in paintings or engravings, a city built in shadow, a city that didn't smell of perfume, but of rot, smoke, and death. To find it, you didn't need to leave the city. You only had to go down into the darkness, where rivers once ran free. Beneath the streets you walked, one of them carried the heartbeat of ancient London, wide enough for boats, clear enough to drink. Its name echoed in the city above, Fleet Street, the pulse of news and power. Yet by the 1800s, it had become something else entirely. A buried nightmare, a flowing sewer that refused to stay silent. Once, the river fleet was clean. Boats moved along its surface. Its water fed the city, but London grew, and the river became inconvenient. Waste was poured into it. Blood from slaughterhouses, rot from tanneries, dead animals, later, human bodies. The fleet stopped being a river. It became an open wound in the body of the city. Born from two clear springs high on Hampstead Heath, the fleet danced southward, through meadows and ancient woodlands. In Remang Londinium, it formed the city's western boundary. Medieval merchants loaded barges that sailed all the way up to Holborn Bridge. Along its banks stood sacred wells, Clockenwell, where clerks once prayed, Sadler's Wells and Bagnigge Wells, places of healing and pilgrimage. For hundreds of years, the river gave London life, drinking water, power for mills, and a gentle voice beneath the growing city, until that city began to poison it. By the middle of the century, the fleet no longer flowed. It stagnated. It rotted. In the scorching summer of 1858, London faced its greatest crisis, the Great Stink. The heat turned the Thames, and every buried river beneath the city, into a boiling sewer. The fleet, now hidden under streets and buildings, forced its foul gases upward, through drains and cracks. Even the Houses of Parliament became unbearable. Debates halted, curtains soaked in lime, members fleeing with handkerchiefs pressed to their faces. Newspapers screamed of impending doom. The Times called it a stench from hell itself. Charles Dickens wrote of a city choking on the breath of its own corruption. The smell was so strong that people collapsed in the streets. Windows stayed shut. Food could not be eaten. In summer, the stench rolled through the neighborhoods. Like a poisonous fog, Londoners stopped calling it a river. They called it the breath of disease. London had no sanitation system. Human waste was stored in pits. When the pits overflowed, they were emptied into the river. The fleet became part of the city's waste system. Open, uncovered, uncontrolled. Houses stood directly above it. Children played nearby. The water was used for washing, sometimes for drinking. It was the perfect incubator for death. Cholera came in waves. It killed quickly, sometimes within a single day. Entire families disappeared. Streets fell silent. People believed disease traveled through bad air. They burned incense, covered their faces with cloth, but the source was beneath their feet, and it kept flowing The city made a decision not to clean it, not to save it. The river was buried. The fleet was sealed. Inside brick tunnels. Streets were built above it. Markets, homes. The river vanished from maps, but not from reality. On the surface, life continued. Fleet Street rose above the buried river and became the heart of British journalism. Smithfield Market rebuilt itself over the old banks. New houses, shops, and stations erased every visible trace. Old maps were redrawn. The fleet was marked only as sewer, yet deep below, the water still rushed through the darkness, carrying everything the city refused to see. A hidden artery, pumping quietly, under millions of footsteps. The city has changed beyond recognition. Glass towers rise where slums once stood. The air is clean enough to breathe. Yet every drop that falls on Hampstead Heath still finds its way into the old river. Every storm reminds us that nature was never conquered, only redirected. The fleet waits patiently. Beneath the pavement, a quiet witness to everything London has tried to forget, and everything it cannot escape. Today, you can walk through London and never know that a river moves beneath you. It follows the same path, carries the same memory. London is cleaner now, richer, quieter, but its foundations rest on something that was never resolved, only hidden. History does not disappear. It is simply covered with stone. This was the London they chose not to remember. This is what history forgot. But we remember now. We have looked beneath the stone. The river fleet flows on, a reminder that nothing is truly lost, only waiting to be heard again. So next time you walk the streets of London, pause for a moment. Listen, the river fleet is still speaking, quietly, patiently, beneath your feet. And if you listen closely enough, you might hear the echo of the city London once was, and the secrets it still keeps.